Hello, this is Joe Lindsley talking to you from Lviv, Ukraine. Here in Ukraine, we sit in the middle of what seems to be a global chessboard with increasing drama, and there's a frustration I hear increasingly from Ukrainians at all levels. Um, what is going on? Who do we trust? We hear these dire warnings, imminent invasion. We hear from Washington. We see the troop buildup from Russia. We see the increasing level of Russian ships in the Black Sea. We also hear President Zelenskiy calling for calm in Kyiv, and we see calmness throughout this country. So it's a little crazy to figure out, what is the situation and who should we trust and what is happening here. And as President Zelenskiy very passionately said in his speech just now at the Munich Security Conference, the West promises that if Russia does undertake further aggression, there will be dire consequences, but those consequences are not specified, or they always seem to be changing. And this evokes memories of 2014 when Moscow took the Crimean Peninsula, and in the end there were no truly dire consequences, and Moscow still has Crimean Peninsula today. So in this context, there are many questions to ask, but I think first we'll start with two for now, and these questions both involve understanding better the situation and the mentality from Washington. I speak as an American who's had a great experience in American media and politics, and I now have been in Ukraine here for 2 years. So to begin to make sense of this, these are two questions I would like to put forth. First, why amid this crisis is there no official ambassador from Washington to Kyiv? It seems at the very least a tad disrespectful, and almost I wonder sometimes if Washington is treating Ukraine like a second-class country the same way that we treat Taiwan, which, like Ukraine, is under a threat from its tyrannical neighbor. So why is there no U.S. ambassador at the official ambassador level from Washington to Kyiv during this moment of crisis when everyone can agree Ukraine is of absolutely essential geostrategic importance? Number two, and this is more difficult to ask given our fractured American political discourse, but I speak to you from Ukraine where people tend to speak much more freely, and so I can speak without fear. But President Biden's family has made millions from a company called Burisma. It's an energy firm often called Ukrainian, but it has some very strong ties to Moscow and to the ousted regime of Viktor Yanukovych. In 2014, when in the Revolution of Dignity, the people of Ukraine stood up to the pro-Moscow regime, which went fleeing to Russia in February 2014. Among the members of that cabinet of Viktor Yanukovych was the CEO of the energy firm Burisma. He also fled to Russia. It's also important to note that Burisma had significant oil and gas fields and assets in the Crimean Peninsula. A month after the pro-Moscow regime fled and Ukraine was now a free country, Moscow took the Crimean Peninsula. The U.S. administration of Obama, Biden, and the Western world did nothing seriously to stop that move. Then, very curiously, and here's where the question is, 2 months later, the same Burisma, whose CEO at that time was in Moscow, which had oil fields in Crimea, that same Burisma hired Hunter Biden, son of the then sitting U.S. Vice President, at a fairly astounding rate of $83,000 a month. Hunter had as far as we know, no oil, gas, or Ukraine experience. He was paid at that rate until 2017 when Obama-Biden left office, at which point his fee was reduced in half, as far as we can tell. So what was going on? We have so often considered and asked about the connections between Trump and Russia. Some of that maybe is unraveling now. I haven't followed it too closely amid the situation here in Ukraine, but I think at the very least, so we can understand who we can trust and which side everyone is on, we need to explore these two questions. Why is there no U.S. ambassador to Ukraine right now? And what is the story of all the millions of dollars that the Biden family has made from a company that seems to have very close ties to Moscow and a great interest in the old ousted regime of Ukraine before the people claimed their independence and their liberty in the revolution of Euromaidan in 2014. So with that, this is Joe Lindsley, and I will continue to post updates here. I welcome all challenges and information because we are in the situation where we're just trying to figure out what the hell is going on. And that's it. But I will say, people do it. I hope you can hear some of the background noise in this cafe. People are joking and talking. To today more than ever, I think people are talking openly. In the cafe here, people were watching President Zelenskyy's speech and cheering him on in a way. But I want to make it very clear that life is cheerful